There you are. I was thinking, we've been through a lot together now. We're like old war buddies. So I figured why not invite you to share a drink, huh? A drink from my own stash, my family's recipe, and dedicated to my comrades in arms. Yes! The warden steps up! How do you feel? That just means it's working. Ride the rock slide, my friend. I just wanted to tell you, after all we've been through, you're like family to me. Closest thing I've had in years. Aye, a toast with a dry cup. You're not getting any more of my brew. So, do you want to talk about something? What about? Aye, the surface is great. It's like a big, bright world of filth without a ceiling. My kind of place. Hey, let's go find something to kill, huh? All this talk makes my hands twitchy.
What's on your mind? I have watched you for a time, and perhaps I was wrong. There seems to be something special between the two of you. It doesn't happen often, but I see her smile to herself sometimes when she watches you. I think I was too harsh in my judgment before, and I am sorry. What you have may not last forever. Death and duty may part you, but love's worthiness is not diminished because of that. I should have seen this before. Instead, you learn to cherish every precious moment that you spend together, knowing that it may be the last. And for those of us watching, well, it brings warmth to these old bones to know that something so beautiful can be found in the midst of chaos and strife. Most kind. Most kind. Most kind. Most kind. What's on your mind? I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there. I could sense the demons, too, and their presence frightened me. It was the kindly spirits of the Fade that took the fear from me. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched. It did not feel evil. I never feared it. In fact, it infused me with soft, strange warmth I never felt before. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word. There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them. I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me. I will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger-wagging. You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help. What's on your mind? Cure me? What, am I sick now? Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child, your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content. It is enough. I think I've led a good life, a full life, and I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the fade and returns to the Maker. Most kind. What's on your mind? I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else. Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, an Aaron. He was my first apprentice. An Aaron was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority. All he knew of the humans was what he had seen in the alienage. He was very wary of us. What an Aaron needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential just to be difficult. Oh, I dread to think. I was a harsh taskmistress. He might have thought I was a demon in disguise. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed. And I learned that too late to help him. An Aaron ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him. I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed in Aaron. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves. The Templars are well-trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student. And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret. That was interesting and draining. I called forth the spirit that sustains me so that it could lend us aid. I did not realize it would take this much out of me. It seemed a good idea at the time, if a little rash. I think it may have weakened the spirit a little. Well, that's certainly conceivable. I suppose I shouldn't be using that particular trick to entertain children at parties. It's not a demon that requires controlling. Really, you need not fear it. I promise I'll be careful. And thank you. Your concern is touching. What's on your mind? It is no trouble.
Stop right there, outsider. The Dalish have camped in this spot. I suggest you go elsewhere, and quickly. I find that hard to believe. What business could we Dalish possibly have with a group like yours? A Grey Warden? How do I know you're telling the truth? No, that's true. Perhaps I shall let the Keeper decide for himself. In the camp, I suggest you keep your hands to yourself, and remember that our arrows are still trained on you. Follow me.
I see we have guests. And a hound amongst them. As if we haven't had enough problems with such creatures. Who are these strangers, Mithra? I have precious little patience and less time to spend on outsiders today.
This one claims to be a Grey Warden and wishes to speak with the clan. I thought it best to leave the decision to you.
That was wise of you. Maserenus, Mithra, you may return to your post.
Manuvinen, Keeper.
Now, allow me to introduce myself. I am Zafrian, the keeper of this clan. Its guide and preserver of our ancient lore. And you are? Manners. From a Shemlin. Interesting. What might be your mission here? Have you come to spread news of the Blight? I had already sensed the corruption spreading in the south. The existence of the Blight is not news to me. I would have taken the clan north by now, had we the ability to move. Sadly, as you can see, we do not. I imagine you are here regarding the treaty we signed centuries ago. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made. This will require some explanation. Please, follow me. The clan came to the Brecilian forest 1 month ago, as is our custom when we enter this part of Ferelden. We are always wary of the dangers in the forest, but we did not expect the werewolves would be lying in wait for us. They ambushed us, and though we drove the beasts back, much damage was done. Many of our warriors lie dying as we speak, even with all our magic and healing skill. We will eventually be forced to slay our brethren to prevent them from becoming beasts. The Blight's evil must be stopped. But we are in no position to uphold our obligations. I am truly sorry. The affliction is a curse that runs rampant in their blood, bringing great agony and then ultimately either death or a transformation into something monstrous. The only thing that could help them must come from the source of the curse itself. And that would be no trivial task to retrieve. Within the Brecilian forest dwells a great wolf. We call him Witherfang. It was within him that the curse originated, and through his blood that it has been spread. If he is killed and his heart brought to me, perhaps I could destroy the curse. But this task has proven too dangerous for us. I sent some hunters into the forest a week ago, but they have not returned. I cannot risk any more of my clan. From whom? The Children of the Stone? The Shemlin? Do you truly think they have time to spare for us? We would assist with the Blight, of course, and you would have our gratitude. This attitude has been burned into our souls after long years of slavery and oppression. It is not personal, but very well. I will remind my people of the danger you will undertake on our behalf. I must warn you that more than werewolves lurk in the Brecilian forest. It has a history full of carnage and murder, you see. Where there is so much death, the veil separating the spirit realm from our own becomes thin, allowing spirits to possess things, living or dead. But if you can indeed help, then I wish you luck. I must return to caring for my people. Creator's speed on your way.
Underanitishan, Grey Warden. My name is Lanaya. I am Zaprian's first, what you might call an apprentice, perhaps. I've been studying under the Keeper all my life. I am a bit curious of the outside world. Do you mind if I ask you a question or two? What an odd thing to say. I mean about the outside world, of course. I hear the human cities are very large, thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true? How very loud that must be with everyone talking all at once. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought. Being accustomed to pain and suffering does not make it any less tragic. It is said that one day we will have a land of our own. We Dalish gather the ancient wisdom in preparation for this. When that day comes, all elves, even those who have forgotten, will reclaim their former glory. I have a question, if it's not too impolite to ask. Do your people regret what they did to ours? I see. That is difficult for our people to accept. Even if only some were in favor of what was done to us, the rest did nothing to stop it. A poet once wrote of them, before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons, they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
As you wish. Darth Shiro.
We few wanderers greet you, Shemlin. We understand you are venturing into the haunted forest to save our brethren. I suspect your efforts may be in vain. An entire group of our hunters went into the forest to do as you intend, and they have not returned. Ah, bravado. How encouraging to see it in our time of need. Our people lie sick and dying, but you boast for our amusement? How thoughtful. Nothing will help us now, least of all the meddling of an outsider.
You are being most unkind, Cyril. Would you refuse our hunters' help simply because of the hand that offered it?
You shame me, Lethalan. I have allowed my bitterness to cloud my better judgment. Forgive me, Grey Warden. It is most difficult to forget the lessons the Shemlin have taught us.
It is even more difficult when you live amongst them, trust me.
Perhaps I can yet make amends. Stay while I spin a tale for our children. And then I will tell you of the forest if you desire. That is too bad. I certainly do not want to keep you from your promises, however, so by all means.
I'm Darren, stranger. I am Athras. I hope the others have not been too harsh in their treatment of you.
That's like saying that Dender Rash is a bit itchy. You'll tear the skin off your arse and be glad you did it.
It is not our intention to insult a Grey Warden. We are simply wrapped up in the plight of our hunters. It is easy to forget simple niceties at such a time. I understand you will search for the wolves in the Brecilian forest. I would join you, but Zathrian has forbidden me. We are banned from entering the forest now. I have more cause than most, but I will not disobey my keeper. That is a tale I am not sure I should tell an outsider. Surely you have greater concerns than my problems, stranger. It's odd to talk so freely with a stranger, but perhaps you can help me. My wife Denilah and I both fought the werewolves in the ambush. She was injured so gravely, the curse spread rapidly in her. Zathrian fought hard to ease her pain, but there was little he could do. And though he says that Denilah is dead, he will not let me see her body. I am beginning to believe she became a werewolf, and that it is being kept from me so I do not go chasing after her. If I could just know if Delilah is alive or what happened to her, then I could be at peace. I have an amulet made by our craftsman. It's not much, but I would be happy to give it to you in return for any news.
So, Antiva, wonderful place, full of Antivans.
Ogren, if you want to bed me, you have only to ask.
What? Draw your weapon and say that again.
I jest, my foul-smelling friend. You are only slightly less attractive to me than a slime-filled pool of swamp water.
Better be.
You have my oath.
Bloody Antivans. Elves turning into werewolves, huh? Walking on the wild side.
I never thought I'd ever be put in a Danish camp.
My mother was Dalish. They are a proud people, those who refused to bow to defeat. What say you? By all means. I know little enough of the Dalish other than the fact that my mother was one, or so I was told. She had fallen in love with an elven woodcutter and accompanied him back to the city, leaving her clan behind for good. And there, of course, the woodcutter died of some filthy disease and my mother was forced into prostitution to pay off his debts. Oldest tale in the book. How should I know? My mother was a whore, as you'll recall. None of the other elven boys in the whorehouse knew their fathers. I was not so unusual. I didn't know my mother either, of course. She died giving birth to me. My first victim, as it were. We were all raised communally by the whores. It was a happy enough existence, ignoring the occasional beating. Until eventually I was sold to the crows. I brought a good price, so I hear. That's very kind of you to say, but it is not necessary. It could have been much worse. Shall I tell you about what happened to the other whorehouse boys who did not fetch a decent price with the crows? Surely your life has not been so idyllic. People like you and I are not the product of happy lives of contentment, after all. My original point is that my mother's Dalish nature was always a point of fascination for me. Through all the years of my crow training, the one thing of my mother's that I possessed was a pair of gloves. They were of Dalish make, I knew that much, and beautiful. I had to keep them hidden, of course, as we were not allowed such things. Eventually, they were discovered, and I never saw them again. I don't feel anything about them. Oh, we heard about them in the city, even deep in Antiva. I even had the notion once to run off and join them. Naturally, the reality did not live up at all to the fantasies I had constructed as a boy, staring at those gloves. But such is life. Come, enough talk of the Dalish. Let us move on.
Andaran Atishan, outsider. I am Gaina. Is there something you need from me? I am not sure what I can tell you, but I shall try. Zathrian? He has been our keeper since long before my parents' parents were born. What could you wish to know about him? The keeper is not a fortune teller. He could not have known any more than the rest of us. I don't know. Very old. It is said that Zathrian may be one of the first to become as our ancestors were long ago, immortal. We all live longer than the Flat Ears, the elves who live with humans. The Keepers even more so because of their knowledge of the old ways.
Why Zathrian differs from the others, I do not know. Perhaps he has been blessed by the creators. Of course! Does your maker need to come down from the heavens and speak out loud for you to believe in him? There is little harm in my belief that our own gods watch over us from the heavens, full of hope for our future. Then may the creators bring you fortune.
Hello? I am Cailan, a hunter apprentice. Though I wish I could become a real hunter. I shouldn't be talking about this to an outsider. You wouldn't understand. I suppose there's no harm in it. It's not like you can help me. I've been an apprentice for too long. To become a true hunter, I must bring back the pelt of a beast I killed myself. A boar or a wolf or something. I wanted to hunt in the forest, but we're forbidden to enter because of the attack. But the real problem is Gaina. She's my heart's desire. I have asked for her hand, but she cruelly refuses it. She will not bond with an apprentice, she says, and calls me a child. I am no child. If I was a hunter, I could prove it, but I cannot hunt, and Gaina will never bond with me. I feel so helpless. I shouldn't have brought it up. Just leave me to my misery. You think I haven't thought about this? There's nothing I can do. Wooing? I don't understand. I've serenaded her, and we've talked many times under the moon. But that doesn't matter if I'm still an apprentice. Not to her. A gift? No, that wouldn't be appropriate. Not before we're married. I've serenaded her, and we've talked many times under the moon. But that doesn't matter if I'm still an apprentice. Not to her. Because I love her. I really do. I wouldn't expect you to understand. No! We've never done anything like that. Never. Of course not. I'm not even bonded yet. I've never kissed anyone, not like that. Is it? Nobody tells me anything about that sort of thing. Showed me? You mean with you? Oh, that's a relief. I thought... Never mind. Let's just drop this. Such as? No, I couldn't do that. I must kill the beast myself. It is my rite of passage to become a full hunter. You are right. I do want to marry Gaina before she marries someone else. So you would get a pelt for me? Why would you do that? Then, I am very grateful. I will pray to Andrul, the goddess of the hunt, for your success.
Hala. The Dalish call them their guides. They even lead an elf to oblivion when he dies, or so they claim.
I hear only the Dalish can control the Hala. They listen to no one else.
It's them antler beasts, I swear.
The Watchwolves have spoken truly, my brothers and sisters. The Dalish send a human of all things to repay us for our attack, to put us in our place. What bitter irony. We are beasts, but we are no longer simple and mindless. Let that thought chill your spine. You speak to Swift Runner. I lead my cursed brothers and sisters. Turn back now. Go back to the Dalish and tell them that you have failed. Tell them we will gladly watch them suffer the same curse we have suffered for too long. We will watch them pay. Yar, I regret only that we did not inflict every single one of them with the curse that night. That we do! How dare they send you here against us? Turn and leave, while you still have the chance! Was it not Sathrian who sent you? He wishes only our destruction, never to talk. Witherfang is the first and the eldest. This forest is his home, and you will never see him, if you are lucky. You know nothing, do you? Nothing of us, and even less of those you serve. You are a fool, and we are done talking. Run from the forest while you can. Run to the Dalish and tell them they are doomed. You think we would help you find the Great Wolf? You think we would let you kill him? Then you are a fool. Hey, come, brothers and sisters! Swift Runner calls you to battle! Drive this invader from our midst! Enough! The forest has eyes of its own, and it shall deal with you. You have been warned. Listen, I am not the mindless beast I appear to be. I am cursed, turned into this creature. The curse, it burns in me. I fled into the forest. The werewolves, they took me in, but I had to return. I had to. You are human. I was once an elf, one of the Dalish folk. You know of my clan. The Keeper sent you? Then you seek Witherfang. I have, but it is not what you think. But there is no time to explain. You must listen. My name is Delilah. My husband, he is called Athras. Please, you must bring him a message. The staff I wear. Bring it to him. Tell him I love him. Tell him I am dead and with the gods. I beg you. I want him to be at peace. He is a good man. Please do not let him suffer thinking of me. Oh, the pain. The curse is fire in my blood. Please, hand it for me. Hand it quickly. I will tell you what I know if you promise to end my pain. Then know this. The werewolves are no longer violent animals. They have overcome the curse like I have. There is a ruin in the center of the forest. You may find them there. They will think you mean to kill them. I can tell you no more. The pain, it is too much. Please fulfill your promise. Gods, bless you.
Right here, old pal. What about? I do. A bit. A little bit. I guess we're all a bunch of whimpering softies in the end. Anyhow, let's keep moving. If anyone finds out I was getting all mopey, I'd lose my reputation.
I do not think we made any progress. We could barely see our way through the mist, and now we are back at the beginning again.
What came first, I wonder? The forest or the ruins?
There's something about this place that makes my skin crawl.
Hey, hang on a bit. I want to carve Ogren was here in that thing.
Friends, turn back, please. These woods are a danger to those who do not know the paths.
A Naren?
Wait, I remember your face. But younger, more impulsive, stern. Wynn?
I thought they had killed you.
They very nearly did. The Templars found me while I was searching for the Dalish. They ran me through and left me for dead.
I brought this on you. Oh, I was a dreadful mentor, harsh and impatient. I am sorry for the way I treated you.
I've put that behind me, and you should too. I didn't fit in with the Templars in your chantry. My path lay elsewhere.
Irving is a reasonable man. He will find some way for you to return. The Circle needs new blood. It needs to change.
I have fond memories of Irving. He was always kind to me. I will consider your proposal, and perhaps I will speak with Irving. However, I promise nothing. Now, it is getting late and you have much to do. You should be on your way.
No, we've spent enough time on my personal affairs. It is time for us to move on.
Look at this. It's the hardened sap of a tree native to this forest. It's been something of a lucky charm for me, and now I want you to have it.
Very well. I'm grateful. May your gods smile on you and Aaron.
And on you.
Oh dear. Not a werewolf and not a spirit even. What are the woods coming to? Questions, always questions. They say it was questions that made me mad. Will you do the same for you? Ask a question and you'll get a question, but give an answer and you'll receive the same. Oh, I do so love to trade. Wouldn't I have to ask you a question first? Would you know a question if it was asked? No, that is not a question. And if it be an answer, it'd be an answer to a question I've not asked. Have you no sense for the rules?
Be careful, Grey Warden. This is no ordinary man. He is a mage. Driven mad, perhaps, but still powerful.
No fair bringing mages to a guessing game. Will you play by the rules or not? I think it is your turn to ask, is it not? Who am I? Why do you want to know? Did they send you? Did they tell you to ask? Oh, did they tell you to pretend to be an innocent stranger with a head full of fluff and nothing? I'm trickier than I look. I survive still, and the trees, they leave me be. I've won. They will never find me. Never. Then I would hide again. The forest. It would get them first, it would. They will never find me. Never. But that's all I have to say about that. An answer for an answer. There you go. May I? Oh, yes, I think I might. Now, what shall be the first? Oh, yes. What is your name? Aha. So you claim. They sent you, didn't they? But you're too tricky, and you're trying to fool me. Well, I'm onto you, just so you know. But it is your turn to ask now. Ask. Ask away, I dare you. It's where the wolfmen have their lair. but the trees will block the path. There's a way to fool the trees, of course. Trees are thick, wooden things, after all. Easily fooled if you know how. Oh my, no, that's quite a question. I think that answer deserves something a little extra first, don't you? I stole something from an oak tree some time ago, and it won't stop pestering me for it back. Would you be so good as to turn it into firewood or something equally dead? Oh, just some large, talking, rhyming oak tree that's missing its acorn now? He's far off to the southwest, deep within the forest. Rather hard to miss. Just what I said. That's what I stole, after all. Weren't you listening? So the oak needs to be chopped down. I will indeed. After all, why not? It's up to you, however. Time to move on. Oh, I see. You're going to report to them now, are you? Fine. Goodbye.
I win. Care to partake of Ogren's fine homebrew? It's the drink of the gods.
Ale, is it? And I hope it's brewed hygienically?
Of course. I may not know clean from a beggar's ass when it comes to most things, but I don't mess around with my ale.
Very well, let's have a taste.
Well, what do you think?
Very nice.
You like it? Well, I never...
Attractive amber color, nutty flavor, slightly sweet, just a hint of toastiness. There's some spice to it I'm finding hard to place.
Yes?
Is it cloves?
Cloves! Ha ha! By the stone, you're a lady after my own heart. If I weren't buckled in this armor, I'd take you around the corner and, well, you know.
Give me more ale.
What manner of beast be thee that comes before this elder tree? Ah, thou speakest of the others, how filled they are with hate. I apologize on their behalf. They cannot control their fate. Allow me a moment to welcome thee. I am called the Grand Oak, sometimes the Elder Tree.
It's a poet tree. A poetry. Don't you get it?
The world is certainly full of marvelous, unexpected creations. Each day we see something that we never thought possible.
And unless thou thinkst it far too soon, might I ask of thee a boon? I have but one desire, to solve a matter very dire. As I slept one early morn, a thief did come and steal an acorn. That is the thief, the one I seek. It is he who rendered my future bleak. Then I fear I shall perish soon. I shall not see another moon. Why hast thou returned so soon? Hast thou changed thy mind about the boon? And what wilt thou do? Wilt thou see thy contract through? My wooden skin has some magic, see? And part of it I can give to thee. In the center of the forest the wares do dwell, or so go the tales my fellows tell. But they cannot be followed there. forest doth protect the wares. The forest would see thee as a tree, and so no harm would come to thee. Wilt thou then perform the task? Wilt thou save me, as I ask? Go to the east to find this man. I shall await. Do what?
What's this now? You again? Why don't you go away? I think it is your turn to ask, is it not? Suddenly it all becomes clear. You here, that talking tree there, it all makes sense now. As a matter of fact, yes. I do have that tree's acorn. I stole it, and it was easy. Silly tree should have locked it up tighter. If you want it, you'll have to trade me for it. And nothing from that silly tree. No leaves or branches or anything. But that's all I have to say about that. An answer for an answer. There you go. May I? Oh, yes, I think I might. Where were you born? So you say, fiendishly clever of you to maintain this facade for so long, but I will see through it yet. Mark my words. But it is your turn to ask now. Ask. Ask away, I dare you. Yes, I live here, and it's not as bad as you think. Where else to go, eh? I must stay away from them. They're out there and looking. They will take your secrets, oh yes, all of them, and leave you empty. But that's all I have to say about that. An answer for an answer. There you go. May I? Oh yes, I think I might. Let's see. Do you have a knowledge of the arcane arts? Aha! I knew that. Or did I? I forget now. But if you are a mage, that means that they sent you. Huh? Or does it? Drat. But it is your turn to ask now. Ask. Ask away, I dare you. Let's see. I'll trade you an acorn, a helmet I found, or a book I finished reading years ago, provided you have something interesting in return. Oh, and what do you have to trade for the acorn? Coin? What possible use could I have with coin? Do you see a money changer about? Ooh, warm. Warm enough to keep my neck from freezing on a cold night when the mice are biting at the toes. Give me that! There. Now that's done. What else have you got on your agenda, Not fair. Not fair. This is completely against the rules. You just watch your manners. I've only so much blood in this frail body of mine, and I intend to keep it there.
He uses illusions to disappear. No doubt it is how he survives in this forest. Who is he? An apostate, perhaps?
Huh. You hear that? I intend to keep it there, so no more of your shenanigans. May I? Oh, yes, I think I might. What is your relationship with your father? Interesting. Most interesting. So that means that you did indeed have a father. I knew I would trip you up sooner or later. But it is your turn to ask now. Ask. Ask away, I dare you. Oh, yes. Yes. I still have that old helmet and the book. And what do you have to trade for the helmet? Well, that's your business then, isn't it? I still answered your question, and now it's my turn again. May I? Oh yes, I think I might. Have you ever seen the Grand Cathedral of Valroyo? Oh really? Was it nice? Hmm? Oh, yes, indeed, you are correct. Drat. Yes, I live here, and it's not as bad as you think. Where else to go, eh? I must stay away from them. They're out there and looking. They will take your secrets, oh yes, all of them, and leave you empty. But that's all I have to say about that. An answer for an answer. There you go. May I? Oh yes, I think I might. Have you ever been in love? Oh? How boring. Maybe they didn't send you after all. That's a bit of a relief, isn't it? All right then. If you still have something to ask, ask away. Oh yes, yes. I still have that old helmet and the book. And what do you have to trade for the book? Coin? What possible use could I have with coin? Do you see a money changer about? Well, that's your business then, isn't it? I still answered your question, and now it's my turn again. Haven't I asked enough questions about you? I think I have. You bore me now. Goodbye.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Hold on, you. That's private property. That's an old man's home, that is. Keep out. Keep out.
No offense, but might I try? I've got a quick hand, after all. Ha, let's see. Oh, when was the last time I slipped my hand into some dark hole? I remember, long story that. And there we go. It was definitely trapped, but I'm too awesome by far. Here's what was inside.
You're a robber, is what you are. They sent you, didn't they? Well, I'll show you. They won't get away with this.
You have no hope, Leslie! My acorn is still gone, so I pray to thee. Hast thou any news for me? My joy soars to new heights indeed. I am reunited with my seed. As I promised, here it be. I hope its magic pleases thee. Keep this branch of mine with thee, and pass throughout the forest free. I wish thee well, my mortal friend. Thou brought my sadness to an end. May the sunlight find you, thy days be long, thy winters kind, and thy roots be